Well, there's no doubt there's a lot of expensive machinery here this weekend. But they didn't all start out this way, so I decided to ask them, what was your first car?
It was a Valiant. It was great. I paid $70 for it. It had 4 months registration on it. It was white. It was a Hemi Pacer. You can't go past the Hemis are coming back, mate. Trust me, the Hemis are coming back.
My first car the first car ever was a Golf. A 1980-something Golf. I had it for about 3 months and I rode it off.
First car I ever bought, it was a Falcon years and years ago. I don't want to talk about that. It's too long ago. I've grown up since then. It was a Hillman Hunter, a 660 Royal. That was my first passion when it comes to motorsport. We did quite a lot of development on that. Got it to be reasonably quick for a Hillman Hunter.
A rotary, a RX3 rotary. It was an absolute rocket ship, and it used to drink fuel like no tomorrow, but it was a fast machine. It was good fun. It cost me about $700.
My first car was a VW Golf, actually, back in South Africa, and we souped that up too. Blew the motor a few times, but yeah, then I decided that German cars were good, but you got to go to the top end of them, yeah.
My first car ever was a beautiful yellow Ford Escort panel van. So yeah, that was a beautiful little number.
I had a 1985 Nissan Patrol short wheelbase that I ripped the back off and put some pig shooters and a roll bar on it and a massive stereo, because I lived down in the south and I could basically drive it around, and all the little blondes in their Suzuki Vitaras would go past with my Metallica blaring. It was great. That was my first car, and that taught me a lot about engines because I had to fix it every 100 kilometres.
It was a standard 14, which you wouldn't even know what that was. It was an old Pommy car with a side valve engine, and I was 13 years old and I crashed the thing and so ripped the fenders off it. And then I figured, well, we had such a great weight reduction, why not rip the whole body off? So we ended up, this is on a farm of course, just with a chassis and a seat welded on, and that's what I learned to drive on.
My first car was a 3-speed automatic Mitsubishi Scorpion that I used to have at college.
First car I ever bought, mate, I had a Mini Cooper S, a red Mini Cooper S. And that was my first car. Borrowed the money off my old man, took years to pay it back. And it was a lot of fun. It was about an inch off the ground. It had 6-inch rims, hot dog muffler, and bright red.
First car I ever bought, a Mini Cooper S. No, it was my first car and I was paying it off. I was 17 and my mates pulled the electrical cable off the fuel pump and it caught on fire and burnt to the ground. I still had 3 years to pay off on the sucker. Mates.
A Lancia, an Italian car, and I've still got it, so yeah.
My first car was a old bomby surf wagon. It was a Corolla panel van actually. Did about 200,000 kilometres in it, but yeah, had some good times in it. Yeah.
The first car I ever drove was my mother's $65 Volkswagen. Clutch started it down the street, managed to put it through the intersection and nearly hit a police bike coming through the other way. I had to go to court twice before that, before I got my licence for that moment. So the first one was quite memorable.
E.H. Holden, I think, with a 192 and triple SUs on it. First one I had was actually a black GSI Barina 1300, and ended up putting that into a tree. And yeah, it sort of went up from there. Another Barina, and then had a previous Rex, and then into this.
First car I ever bought was my mum's little Datsun 1200. So very different to what I'm driving now.
First car I ever bought was a Toyota Corolla, probably like a lot of people, you know, rust holes in it, but I couldn't kill it. You know, my father said that if I could, he'd buy it off me when it died, and I tried to kill it for about 12 months, it wouldn't bloody die.
First car I ever owned was a Nissan Exa that I stuck into a tree. Since then I probably learned about 10 years ago, so I've kind of been racing for about 10 years to try and not do that again, and so far so good.
Morris Minor. Great Murray Minor. Fantastic. It was older than I was, probably in better condition, but yeah, no, it was a fan. I called it the Rocket. More out of hope than out of reality.
What did it cost you?
Oh, it was given to me, and that was too much.
My first car, just a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Oh, let me take that silver spoon out.
I was about to say you a soccer mum.
Not far off.
And at the end of day two, there was still no change at the top of the leaderboard. Shane Topping now 13 points clear from Martin Lataris, with third place Tony Esplin. Of course, that's the driving stakes. There are co-drivers and the teams, and they're all fighting to win this series. find out who wins that at the end of day 3. Day 3, and there was light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a long weekend. We headed off to the scenic Darlington Park, about 45 minutes from the Gold Coast, and the Holden Performance Driver Training Centre. 4 tests were laid out for us at Darlington Park, including a very tight, wet motorcana. So, if you had a roof, it was now time to put it on. Then, when you'd finished, it was time to enjoy the sun again. You've got to love the flexibility of the Porsche. Another test was a pretty fast-flowing section with witches' hat chicanes to slow up the field. But the great thing about the Lotus was you didn't really have to lift off the go pedal to get through them. However, Mark O'Connor, trying a little hard here, just clipped the hat, and only just, and then the car wanting to move sideways as it gets light over the rise. Mark doing a pretty good job to hang on to it here. One of the other tests at Darlington Park was the back circuit. Now, you started slow, weaving along a course of orange cones, and then you were let loose on some fast-flowing corners. And just when you thought you were past all the orange hats, you were confronted with another at the top of the hill. Again, to test your skill, but also to make sure the Dutton Rally is as safe as possible. And a few drivers came very close to hitting them. The other venue on the final day was the Holden Performance Driver Training Centre, which also had a terrific setting in amongst the cane fields. It's also home to the Paul Morris V8 Supercar team. 3 tests here. A fast auto test with 3 chicanes was the first one we all got to tackle. Now, this was pretty fast. I can't tell you how fast exactly. I didn't have enough time or talent to look at the speedo, but I can tell you it was fun all the same. In the final event, it was the wet circle. Now, if one man was going to know his way around here, it was going to be this man. Have a look at his car. Yes, he gets to do this all the time. This is his place of work. A lucky man indeed. Let's have a look at his work on the pan. Now, it wasn't overly slippery. In fact, the slippery part was just past the timing device, but the rest was pretty manageable. Now, as we all know, the fastest way around a circle is to stay in tight. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Well, if you're sitting at home and you'd like to come on one of these events, or perhaps your current car is a little tired and you'd like to do something else, can I suggest to you, you call MoPro Australia. The reason why is that this little Lotus here and others like it from the 2004 Lotus Trophy Series are available for lease. MoPro Australia, they are the experts in arrive and drive motoring packages. And that's all Mark O'Connor and I have done this weekend. We arrived, we drove, and we've done pretty well. They are fitted with a TerraTrip computer. They are all decked out. 4 new tyres, Kumo tyres. They'll give you 2 spares as well. $5,000. So if you're thinking about leasing one of these, it is a chance of a lifetime for you to experience a Lotus firsthand. They are great in the Duttons. As I said, they're available for Targa Tasmanias and a whole lot more. Get yourself into these, lotusexperience.com.au, or you can go to MoPro Australia's website. Get into one of these, either for the 2005 Lotus Trophy Series in an Exige, but for any rally series, they are all decked out. As I said, arrive and drive. Give them a call today. We've had a lot of fun.
I reckon today was probably the best day around Darlington Park, and through the probably the slaloms with the little sort of handbrakes at the end was good fun, but the whole event I reckon was probably the best event I've been on so far, so awesome.
Well, I think I probably like today at Darlington Park. I just thought it was, you know, a bit of speed and everything like that, quite challenging, you know, it was very good.
Probably the hill climb. That was something I haven't done before, so yeah, great fun, yeah.
Probably the Parklands car park. A lot of handbrake action, bit of sliding, so it was really good.
Probably today, because I knew the track a little better, and I was a lot less shaky. I just knew my way around a bit. It was a much better day.
Oh, look, I think this afternoon was great. Out of Darlington Park, I think, to cap it off at the end of the weekend with such variety and great surface to drive on, really mixed different events, different type of driving. Yeah, that was it.
I think the boys are in the right frame of mind to enjoy a cold one at the presentation. Now, I've asked the boys about their first car. I've asked them what they enjoyed most about the weekend. It would be remiss of me if I didn't ask them who they thought had been the biggest tool of the weekend.
I'd like to say, but I don't know if it'll be politically correct, so I won't say anything. But not us.
Look, there were plenty of tools, but I think they could have caught more of them. And look, I'm happy to put my hand up. I went over a few cones and missed a few turns, and I'm surprised I haven't got one yet.
Oh, mate, that's got to be...
Becky, wouldn't it?
It'd have to be Becky for sure. Mind you, he didn't crash, so he's not that big a tool, but it was good.
Who's that guy that we've got doing the announcing every morning?
Daniel Gibson.
Yeah, that's him.
That's a bit harsh. Even I got a mention. Well, here's the man who won the award, Sam Beck. Sam, why Queensland Rally to fit into the mix? What's doing?
Well, we just thought that, you know, we've got the Victorian and the New South Wales event. Why not go north, go up to the sun? It's a great time of year and a great place to be.
Andrew Gibson from Alphera kind of put his foot in it a little while ago and planted the seed, didn't he?
Yeah, we sort of had some brief discussions, and Nossie and I really didn't want to probably take it on, but he announced it at the Victorian event last year, so we're sort of a bit stuffed. But it's been fantastic. It's been really good. It's been quite an easy event to organise because the facilities up here are just fantastic.
I gauge the event on how faces smiling in the bar, and everyone's smiling, everyone's having a good time.
Now, if Darren Park's got a smile on his face, the event must have gone all right, because he's one of the great competitors we've got, but he's a hard marker, and if he's smiling, you're doing well.
Yeah, well, we always say if Darren Park and Reg Johnston are smiling, then the event's been a good one.
All right, mate, we always finish on the details because people will be saying, all right, I've watched the show, it looks pretty good. How do we get involved? Where do I get all the details? And it's a fairly simple website.
Quite simple, just go to DuttonRally.com. All you need is a road registered car to enter. It can be the family sedan, it can be a Porsche, it can be whatever you like. Come along, have a lot of fun with us, and you will have a great time.
Well, mate, what a success. Anthony's done a fantastic job for the first year up here, and I think it's got great legs to move on for next year.
Now, you didn't actually drive in this one. You must be kicking yourself. Come back.
I am a very loyal friend. I go to a wedding and I had to skip on the first night, but we've just been flat out with work as well and just trying to keep our commitments with this. It was a bit of a juggle to get here.
It's been a long weekend. The presentation was held at the Gold Coast at Melbourne's, a bit of an institution around these parts, and it was a chance to finally have a few coldies, try some mouth-watering cheese from Witch's Chase and collect some silverware. In fact, Tony Esplin and his wife Kari had so much silverware from the weekend they got stung $60 for excess baggage. But the boys who took home the big one were once again Martin Lataris and Simon Arthur, winners of the New South Wales Dutton Rally, and now they've taken out the inaugural event here on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, we've over the last 12 months we've just been developing the car, a lot of suspension work, a lot of time testing, yeah, it's nothing special, and there's a few of them getting around there now.
Now, driver and co-driver go together to make up the result, and you couldn't have done it. Now, you're going to have to speak for Simon because he's lost his voice. I spoke to him about 2 hours ago and he was fine. It's just gone on him. So he's an important part of the team.
Yeah, well, it always helps, and we've been friends for a while, but our background are both in bikes, and yeah, when I got this car, it just made perfect sense when we were talking about it, and we just basically grew from there.
Well, congratulations to Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur, winners of this round. Of course, it's now part of a national series, and the national series standings for co-drivers looks like this. In third place, me in the Lotus Elise on 283 points, Mick Jones in the Subaru WRX with 242, and Simon Arthur leading the co-driving series. Third place in the drivers, Tony Esplin in the Porsche GT3, Shane Topping now sitting on second place for the National Series Stakes, and Martin Nataris. And that leaves the teams. The top 5 teams for the outright are Whitehead and Whitehead in the Datsun 240Z, Sutton and Wilson in the Evo, myself and Mark O'Connor in the Lotus Elise, Topping and Jones in the Subaru, and of course first winning this event and leading the National Series on 421 points, Nataris and Arthur. We look forward to the series continuing early June with the New South Wales Alphera Dutton Rally. We hope to see you again soon. Well, what a great end to the Alphera Dutton Rally in Queensland. It's the start of the 2005 National Series, and you can't find a better place. This was absolutely brilliant. And to wrap it all off with the people, the sun, the sand, the surf, and as I said in the opener, folks, the beach, the babes, and the brute horsepower.
Yeah, Dutton Rally Queensland, absolutely awesome. It's been 3 days of just banging the car around, safe environment, having a ball, really.
Unbelievable, well organised and totally loads of fun.
We have had an absolutely sensational weekend. It has been beyond belief. I mean, what can you say about Queensland? All the venues, the great weather, the pretty girls, the grog, the lot. It's just absolutely A1.
I think mainly because anyone can enter. Doesn't matter what sort of car they got. Or any ability they have, they can get out there and have a good time.
Mate, it's actually been one of the better rallies we've been on, to be perfectly honest. It's, we're saying before, a lot of high-speed stuff and a lot of fun, and we kept the car straight, so that was the main thing, yeah.
What is it that makes a Dutton Rally so fun?
Well, I think the fact, look, some other rallies are, sort of moving to all different locations every day, and won't name any, but here we get to stay in one spot and drive out from Central City, and then here, Gold Coast has been fantastic. So, we don't need to pack up the car every day and move, and that sort of thing becomes really hard work, whereas these ones are always located in one location, and so you can unpack your bags at your motel or hotel, and then sort of go out and enjoy the day, and then you can leave the car at home, have a few beers, catch a cab out, as we intend to do tonight.